How did I make it this far? Through the valleys and over the hills, I know it had to be God. How did I make it through the storms? How did I make it through the rain? If you wanna know just how I got here, it's so easy to explain. It was God's grace. God's grace. 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 I made it this far. By the grace of God. It was God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. His amazing grace. God's grace. Oh, I made it this far. By the grace of God. And Lord, I thank you for how you brought me. How you brought me through the night. And Lord, you kept me, and you never left me. You stood right by my side. There were so many times when I came so close. Oh man, death, he tried to bring me in. And the reason I'm here is not hard for me to see. It's so easy to explain. It was God's grace. God's grace. 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 Oh, I made it this far. I remember the time when I strayed away. Even though I knew the word, still I wouldn't obey. But God's grace and His mercy, it just stayed with me and brought me all the way. God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. His amazing grace. God's grace. Oh, I made it this far. By the grace of God. It was God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. Amazing grace. God's grace. Oh, I made it this far. By the grace of God. Some people laugh how I'm still standing. Some people said that I would never make it. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. His amazing grace. It was God's grace that woke me up this morning. It was God's grace that laid His hands on me. Oh, I made it this far. By the grace of God. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. It was God's grace.